Alrighty, y'all. We are here at the SRC Learning School, hoping to gain some knowledge about the duster and its suspension and see what we need to do to fix it. Wish us luck.
And this sport has been so good to my family and blessed us so abundantly. I want to give back. I want to see father and son right here. I want to see them have the opportunity that I've had with my kids.
Other side.
You're going to encounter this guy. You're going to encounter this guy eventually. He's got his super stock springs on his Dodge, okay? And his trunk full of sandbags. You got any rust holes in the trunk?
No, sir, it's brand new. Yeah, it's good.
No, I ain't losing no sand.
I bet there's a jagged edge someplace. But somebody's going to have a car with rust holes in the trunk and a bunch of goddamn sandbags. And we've been behind them going into the final before, going into the semifinal, and we come up here in the car right ahead of us.
Wow.
Dumping sand everywhere?
Down.
Wow.
You need your ass kicked if you've got sandbags in the trunk. Don't do it. Make your weight bars, fill them with ballast, seal them up. Watch where that expansion joint is. It runs up the middle. If it's off to one side, sometimes you're better off to offset the car to one side. Green or blue. So it don't really matter. You can put yourself wherever you want to be in the best position. So if it's right up the center, that's fine. You want to center the license plate right on the front of the car, right up the middle of it. But if it's off the side, you got to watch, because sometimes that expansion joint will have little chunks missed out of it as you go down track.
Like that, Marion?
Like at Marion. Yeah. So, and sometimes you'll have an expansion joint in the right lane, it's right in the center, and the left lane's off to one side, like at Marion. Okay? So, and you're committing a cardinal sin, by the way.
Standing in it.
Oh shit, my bad. My bad.
That's one thing that absolutely boils my freaking hide. That's why we're all here to learn, right?
Yes, sir.
But here's the thing: if you've got a good tune-up and you can put a car link on somebody in a 60-foot, you can force the other guy to grab the scramble early and put pressure on him. Now remember what I told you guys about the prep is intended to break the tire down to allow you to put rubber down. If you hook the tire instantly as soon as you leave the puddle, all you're doing from that point on is picking up trash on the slicks. So now you've literally screwed yourself. Dead stick the tire immediately and your whole burnout.
Okay.
You really want to do a rolling burnout as far, we'll get to that too. There's a difference between short and a long burnout. Go ahead and do a long burnout. If the track is completely garbage, lots of trash, lots of marbles, lots of sand, lots of grit, There's nothing for you out there other than trash to attract on the tire. Now, again, this is where your guy that backs you up is going to make you or break you. Screwing yourself. A little while ago, I told everybody your crew guy that backs you up can either make you or break you. He's more important sometimes than the nitrous tune-up, the boost ramp, the tire pressure, the shock settings. None of that is going to make an ounce of difference. None of that's going to make an ounce of difference if your crew guy doesn't do his job proper. All roads are crowned the same. Some roads you might race on are all crowned one way. But at every track is going to be high in the center, low on the sides so that the water sheds off. What that does is it will make the car drift to the low side in the burnout. So if you're in this lane, if you're in the left lane and it's crowned like every other track is to the left, you'll want to start your puddle on the passenger side or the driver's side last so that you can just hold the car on the low side because that's the side it's going to push to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now the reason this is important is a lot of times if you're street racing, you got to be moving. There's a lot of guys that have 4 or 5 helpers out here and they take 35 minutes to stage a car, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It drives me crazy because you're attracting attention. You got a loud car and there are 2 of them out there and they're doing burnouts. There's only so many minutes before the cops come. Now that's not necessarily the case out here at the track. I'm just saying in general. So anytime you can be efficient, it's like a pit stop in NASCAR. If you learn how to do this efficiently, it becomes a routine, and then you don't have to think about it. It's just natural. It's just natural. It just comes to you exactly what you need to do. Okay? That's a major problem. That's no good. The reason that happened is because I poured the puddle on the wrong side first. I'm standing on the high side, and I'm not letting the car do what it needs to do. Low side.
On the left side, right?
Okay.
If you're in the left lane, or the right side on the right
If the
lane.
track is tilted this way, you want him on this side. If it's tilted that way, you want him on that side.
Okay.
What if you're by yourself? You just got a car there by yourself.
You're kind of
Screwed.
shit up creek.
I can help you today if you
Well,
need me.
no. I'm just
Okay, right, getting it out.
unless you can talk someone into helping you.
Unless you can talk somebody to help you. The problem is you got to have somebody trained to do it, and that's part of the reason why we're doing this today. Now, hopefully, you guys, as you go through this today, you'll go out and you'll help teach other people, and you'll pay it forward. Some people are just going to sit on it. Oh, I don't want nobody to know. As dangerous as this is, it scares me to death, and I'm a bag of nerves every time they go down. It would be worse if I wasn't this particular. It's important that you don't overdrive them, guys. If you don't feel comfortable,
Amen. Amen.
do what he did.
Definitely. Let out.
Stack y'all on with your buddies and stuff. Be careful where you're standing, because a lot of people stand over here in the dirt, in the grass.
Right.
And they'll say, hey man, how you doing? And they're tracking this shit out here.
Right.
And they just stand there and ruin one lane, and it's always worse in one lane than the other because that's the side the staging lanes are on. Say he's running 12 pounds of air and slips, and he makes his first hit. It hooks pretty decent, then gets out there and it starts to get squirrely. So he comes back and lets a little air out. Well, now it gets better out there, but down here it's terrible. It's wadding the tire up. You can't find that happy medium sometimes with your air pressure. But if you had a tube in that tire, you can run them at 10.5 pounds air pressure, still run out the back really. You know, some of you asked about long burnouts. If you're attempting to do a long burnout, you want to start at a little bit lower air pressure. A long burnout makes a 1/2 pound to 3/4 pound difference in air pressure. A 1/2 pound to 3/4 pound air pressure means whether or not that car goes out the back or not. And some of that may have been when Tommy's car got loose. We did 3 burnouts. We didn't check tire pressure. I'm just teaching you guys today. That wasn't a serious pass. We didn't do it like we normally would. We did 3 burnouts, backing up and shutting off. So I'm not surprised that the car didn't go down, especially given the track surface today. not till late rounds maybe, and then you've got people walking in the tracks.
I might need a list of them cardinal sins because I'm new to this and I'm just.
You got 2 of them. So
I just figured it out as I go, right?
don't stand in the tracks. Don't
Watch
pour
what your
water
dad
in the
does.
puddle.
Right, absolutely.
You guys got somebody helping you? Does everybody have somebody helping? Okay.
I'm new, but I'm willing to help.
So
you know what I mean?
what I'm going to do is when you guys come up, just out the window, do you guys each have a bottle of prep with you? I'll pour your puddle for you, and I'll help back you guys up so you can get accustomed to somebody that maybe knows. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm an expert at it. I'm not saying I know everything, but there's some details that I can't get every last detail into this today. You know, sometimes there's going to be times where something happens and the car doesn't do a street burnout for some reason. It walks to the side, and instead of grabbing the steering wheel, I'll walk in the tire track because I can feel it with my feet. I know where the sticky is, and then I walk right in front of the front tire and do this to get him in it.